Discover the best of China with China Connect. From insider tips to must-see destinations, we'll guide you through living, studying, traveling, and working in this fascinating country. Let's get started. There's been a lot of talk about Queen Elizabeth II lately because of Prince Charles's coronation. But did you know that China had its own female emperor back in the day? Her name was Wu Zetian, and she was the only female emperor in Chinese history. In Chinese history, the Han and Tang dynasties were the most prosperous, which is why Chinese people are often called Han people or Tang people. And Wu Zetian was the queen of the Tang dynasty, born around 1,400 years ago in 624 AD. She married two emperors, who happened to be father and son, and gave birth to two emperors, who happened to be brothers. Her life was full of mysteries and legends, like the story that her mother got pregnant after a golden dragon appeared while she was playing in a river. In the previous video, we have introduced the Chinese dragon. In Chinese culture, dragons are seen as a symbol of royalty, so this story implies that Wu Zetian's father was a dragon, and therefore she was destined to be an emperor. In Chinese history, many usurping kings or great figures have similar mythical stories of their birth, which make the public believe that they are chosen by heaven. In ancient China, women didn't have many opportunities to rise to power, but Wu Zetian managed to become an emperor despite coming from a humble background. She was also considered a beauty of her time, with a broad forehead and a strong chin, which were the standards of beauty in the Tang dynasty. In Chinese culture, a broad forehead represents wisdom, while a full chin represents a strong and determined character. It fits well with everyone's imagination of Wu Zetian. At first, Wu Zetian was just a concubine of the emperor. The emperor was impressed with her beauty and named her Main Yang, meaning charming girl. She managed to catch his eye by claiming she could tame a wild horse that nobody else could. She said she'd use a whip, a hammer, and a knife if necessary. "I'll start by lashing it with an iron whip, and if it doesn't submit, I'll use a hammer to smash its head. If it still doesn't submit, I'll use a dagger to cut its throat," she said. The king, seeing such a delicate and weak young woman, yet so bloody and cruel, never sought her out again. With 3,000 beauties in the emperor's harem, she was quickly forgotten, until the king's death, when she was forgotten for a full 12 years, but Wu Zetian was a woman of great ambition, and she didn't give up. She set her sights on the emperor's ninth son, who was weak and easily manipulated. Fortunately, Wu Zetian's firmness, bravery, and love of the limelight did not appeal to the king, but instead attracted the weak son. This young crown prince later changed Wu Zetian's fate and added a brilliant chapter to the history of women in China. After the king's death, Wu Zetian, who had no children at the time, was arranged to become a nun in a temple. This was the lowest point in her life. However, the presence and size of opportunities vary from person to person. Truly talented individuals do not wait for opportunities to come to them, but instead actively create them. When the king fell ill, Wu Zetian had already sensed her own fate. So, while tending to the sick king's bedside, she actively catered to the crown prince, who would become the next king. After she was sent to the temple following the king's death, she once again captivated the gentle, romantic new king when he visited the temple to pray. However, their different statuses and the gap between mother and son made it difficult for her to enter the new king's harem in an open and above-board manner. Coincidentally, at that time, the new king's queen was locked in a fierce struggle with a noble consort. In order to defeat the noble consort, the queen brought Wu Zetian into the palace. Unexpectedly, this move backfired, and not only did Wu Zetian take the queen's place, but she eventually became the emperor herself, before her coronation. She changed her name as Wu Zhao, which means, shining as bright as the sun and the moon. Under her rule, the Tang dynasty flourished economically and culturally, and she proved that women could be just as capable as men in all areas of life. When King Charles III ascended to the throne of England, he was 73 years old, making him the oldest monarch to ever ascend to the throne in British history. Similarly, Wu Zetian was also one of the oldest monarchs to ascend to the throne in Chinese history. As she was already 67 years old when she became emperor, she lived until the age of 81, which also made her the third longest reigning emperor in Chinese history. This is the story of the only female emperor to have ever ascended to the throne in China. She's a legend that will always be remembered in Chinese history. Thanks for joining us on this journey through China. Please give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share with your friends. Subscribe for more videos and let us know your questions or suggestions in the comments. With your help, we can share the wonders of this incredible country with the world. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.